Previously Kazuya got fatally injured while trying to protect some girls from an armed robber. He wakes up to find himself reincarnated in a fantasy world as Kane, who belongs to a noble family. He maintains his memories from his past life, so his family sees him as a genius. At the age of 5 he undergoes mandatory ritual baptism. The gods give him all their blessings and max out all stats. When his family sees this, they warn him to keep his blessings a secret at all costs, but he has the goal to become an adventurer and have many experiences. The story continues after Kane returns to give an update to the current king and his future father-in-law. He is surprised to learn that the kid was in the presence of the first king, so Kane informs him that Yuya never died, but had rather created a separate world where he resides as the god of creation. The noble boy then accesses his item box and removes the katana gift you gave to be presented to the current king. This takes the king and his advisors by surprise, since that weapon is said to have been used by the first king, and with this evidence alone they are left with no other choice but to believe Kane. Little Rizla then begins to tell them about everything he got up to and even informs them how he became Ya's student and how he was forced to train day and night for 5 years. The fact that it has been 5 years amazes the king to the point where he becomes Ira. Silk's father finds Kane amusing and informs him that while he was away he received a notice from the Adventurers Guild to alert him that since he did not accept the quest needed for him to advance to rank A, they are going to revoke his registration. So he quickly rushes over to the guild to confirm if the notice he received is legit. The guild master confirms that what he received is true, since he did not accept the quest. Kane's absence also had him worried, so the young noble apologizes and explains that the academy, along with other happenings, have taken most of his free days. The master goes into further detail as to why there is a risk to his registration being cancelled. It turns out that the time limit on his A-rank promotional quest is almost up, and if he does not accept it right away he should prepare to be kicked out of the Adventure Guild. Kane promptly accepts and is told that his task is to subjugate a few bandits. He is handed a paper that gives more insight. The boy is to capture and bring in 10 criminals, since Kane is the strongest in the capital. The guild master knows this will be a breeze for him. He gets to the task right away as he teleports to the woodlands in search for the troublemakers. He activates his fly ability and takes to the air like Superman. It does not take long for him to spot his targets engaging in more criminal activities. Little Rizzler swoops down and is surprised to see that the people being attacked are his former tutors. Millie has an injured arm, so he quickly goes over to heal it. The bandits say that he is just a youngster, so they make fun of him, saying little kids like him should stay at home and suckle on breast milk rather than being out here trying to play hero. The gang laugh as they charge towards Kane, who promises to take them down for hurting his former tutors. Kane goes easy on them and manages to defeat them all without a swift. He ties the bandits up and goes to check to see if the people he saved are fine. After thanking him, they want to know what he is doing out in the woods. When Kane informs them he is on a subjugation quest, they are shocked, because these types of missions are only for those who are C rank or higher, and since he is only 12 they cannot believe he has climbed up the ladder that quickly. The noble doesn't even give them the chance to take it in as he shows them his golden A-rank card, which just leaves them even more baffled. The young noble gathers all the criminals in a cage and pulls them down the street as onlookers watch, appalled and disgusted by the bandits, especially this guy here. He later escorts Sabinos to his home where they are greeted by his daughter Parma, who is also Kane's age mate. She reveals the fact that he is a baron, so Millie thinks it best not to be so casual with him, but he tells her that they should just refer to him as they have always. Nina points out that with all his accolades he is a gold digger's dream. He says his farewell before making his way back to the guild hall with his tutors to hand in the fools he captured as he presents the paperwork, which confirms his completion of the quest. Both Nina and Nilly are being disturbed by a bunch of desperate good-for-nothing adventurers. They try to ask the girls out, but when they're given the cold shoulder, their leader is persistent, so Kane walks over and tells them to stop their desperate behavior and go away. But when the guy tries to bark back, he pauses and recognizes Kane as the same kid who dealt with them a few years prior, so this puts the fear of God inside them as they fall back in submission to the aura emanating from the 12-year-old. They are only saved when Claude and his wife come in to investigate what is going on. Kane is happy to see him, so he runs over to greet them and explains why he was so mad at the group of adventurers. He tells Claude that they were bothering his friends, so when he asks who his friends are. He is shocked to see that Kane is referring to Nina and Millie. We come to learn that Claude and Nilly are siblings. Talk about a small world, so they question each other on how they know Kane. Claude is excited by this whole coincidence, so he explains for them to celebrate with drinks, but he receives a knock in the face from his wife, who complains that he always finds an excuse to indulge in happy Jews. It looks to me like the couple has some unresolved domestics. Nevertheless, the group find a table where they cheers to the freaking weekend. Kane enjoys his normal juice whilst the adults drink the happy juice. The discussion starts and Claude wants to know why the three of them are together. Millie explains that whilst they were on an escort mission they were ambushed by bandits, but Kane came into their rescue and handed a low diff-ass whooping. Claude doesn't really seem surprised since he already someone knows what the young noble is capable of, but he is shocked when Nina reveals that Kane is in a rank already. But when he recalls the sparring match he had with the kid, he understands how Kane could have climbed up the ranks so quickly within days of registering with the guild. Millie cannot believe that her old student had the ability to keep up with her brother, since Claude was able to rise to a rank using only his sword without any magic. Since the kid is so strong, they want to know how he got to that level, but he refuses to tell them that it was all because of the blessings from the gods. Millie reveals that he was even taking out SS rank monsters such as red dragons when he was just 10 years old. She also shows off the magic bag he made for them as a gift. This catches Claude's wife's attention as she wants to know how much the bags can hold. When she finds out that it is capable of housing a mansion, she adamantly pleads with Kane for him to make her one also. When he agrees due to pressure, she falls asleep on him because she doesn't know how to handle happy juice. Her husband informs them that she wouldn't remember any of what just happened. The next day the kid prepares to leave after realizing that he has school tomorrow, but Claude does not understand why he would go to school despite having achieved so much. He also points out that this probably makes him not fit inside school very well. Kane agrees and tells him that although he feels like an outcast, he attends the academy only to learn about things he has no knowledge on. As he leaves, Claude realizes that he is having a tough time in school, so he ponders on what he can do to help out the kid. No sooner does he make that statement does the receptionist enters and informs them that the instructor who is supposed to teach the adventuring class got injured and therefore they're looking for a substitute. Claude has an idea and requests more information regarding this opening. The next day, during magic class, Kane is excited to show off what he learned with Yuya, but his excitement is killed off when the teacher alerts him that he is forbidden to use any form of attack magic on school grounds since his powers are too much for the barrier to handle, and as a result the teacher has been told by the principal to credit him for the class without any demonstration. While all of this is happening, Claude and the rest hide behind a pillar and observe that Kane truly doesn't fit in with the rest of his classmates, so it is their duty to make sure they give him a helping hand. Later, during adventure class, the teacher tells them that they would be having a special lesson because he has invited adventurers from the guild to join them. When the door opens, Kane is shocked to see that it is Claude in game. The students are excited when they learn that the high-ranking adventurers will be leading the class. Claude starts by asking for a show of hands of how many are registered as adventurers. When they all confirm, he asks them all to show their cards. This is step one of them trying to help Kane out, but the kid feels like if he just whips out his gold card, this will give the other students more of a reason to be put off by him, so he lies, saying that he forgot to bring it in the group. Move on to step 2, which involves making Kane look like the hero of the class by showcasing his strength against the high-level adventurers. They are positive that this is sure to make Kane finally fit in. Since Kane is not allowed to use magic, his only option is to spar with Claude, but unfortunate for him there is a big line before his turn and he gets anxious that time might run out. It is finally time for him to battle, and as soon as they prepare to fight, the bell goes off which signals the end of the class. Kane is disappointed and hopes that he would at least get another chance the next time they are invited, but the teacher notifies him that calling in special teachers are off the schedule for a while since their budget cannot cover it after they had to spend a substantial amount of money to repair the barrier Kane damaged. Claude apologizes to the kid for getting the timing wrong, but the young noble doesn't take it well, so later that night he goes on a rampage in the forest of monsters. To take out this frustration, one of the guards sees what is going on from afar and sounds an alert informing the capital that the Prince of Darkness has arrived. Kane's father along with an army of soldiers get on horseback to go deal with the threat. All the while Kane feels much better after that outburst, so he teleports back home. However, he left his handkerchief behind, which is found by his father inside a huge crater. The young noble is later called in by the king, who was informed that the Prince of Darkness appeared in the forest, so he wanted to know if Cain received any warning from the gods, but when he denies receiving anything, one of his advisors informs to seek the help of other nations since the arrival of the Prince of Darkness is a disaster, but Cain tells them that there is no need to do such a thing, because he was the one responsible for the madness that happened in the forest. Elsewhere, in some caves somewhere, a crystal falls which is collected by a goblin. The green dude is then consumed along with the glowing rock by a giant dragon. It talks about how the seal is weakening, and although it just ate one part of its body, it should be enough for his comeback. All the while Cain is being scolded by his father for his antics again. That brings the episode to an end.